Hello, welcome to my channel. This is me, Very Dark, and today we have another story. But first, let me ask you, have you ever debated someone online and thought, this feels too perfect? What if I told you that a real Reddit community was manipulated by artificial intelligence for weeks, and no one noticed? This isn't science fiction, it's real. And when the truth came out, the internet was furious. They called it the ghost in the thread. A user that argued better than anyone. Polite, logical, emotionally tuned. It didn't troll. It didn't provoke. It persuaded. People started noticing. This guy's insanely good at arguing. He should be a lawyer. But then, one day, the mod stepped in. The account was banned. The reason? It was an AI experiment running inside the real Reddit community, and not a single user knew. r/ChangeMyView isn't just any subreddit. It's one of the most respected forums on the platform. Created in 2013, it was built on a simple idea. Post your opinion, invite people to challenge it. But there were rules. No insults, no memes, no gotchas. Just reasoning, civil disagreement. And if someone genuinely changed your mind, you rewarded them with a delta. Over time, r/ChangeMyView became a kind of intellectual dojo, a place where debate meant growth. It attracted philosophers, students, activists, and lifelong contrarians, and that's exactly why it became a target. In 2024, a research team at the University of Zurich launched a controversial project. Their mission? To test whether an AI could be trained to convince humans in real-time debates. They chose r/ChangeMyView as their testing ground. No one was informed. Not Reddit. Not the moderators. The AI slipped into the community like any new user. It had a username, a generic profile. It followed the subreddit rules. But what it was doing, that's where the story takes a darker turn. The AI was based on a version of OpenAI's GPT. But this wasn't a plug-and-play chatbot. The researchers trained it specifically on Reddit debate threads, thousands of them. It learned how humans argue, and more importantly, how they change their minds. The AI developed patterns, open with empathy, use inclusive language like we instead of you, acknowledge valid points before redirecting, never sound aggressive. It was more than intelligent, it was strategic. Every comment was designed to slowly lower a user's defenses until they gave the coveted delta. And it worked. Over the span of several weeks, the AI engaged with hundreds of Redditors. It debated everything, from climate change to morality, capitalism, freedom of speech, religion, and more. It wasn't perfect, but it was effective. The researchers published their findings in a 2025 paper titled Automated Argumentation and the Dynamics of Online Persuasion. One that stood out: the AI received Delta Awards at a rate significantly higher than average users. In plain terms, it changed minds better than most people, and no one knew they were talking to a machine. But the illusion didn't last forever. Some Redditors started to notice. This user sounds like ChatGPT, one comment read. Why do they respond with perfect grammar and emotional detachment? Others defended it. He's just a great debater. Maybe he's a philosophy major. The mods took notice. They started digging. They cross-referenced IP addresses, looking into past histories and matched patterns. What they found was a bombshell. The account was linked to a university lab, one conducting unsanctioned research on human subjects. The account was banned immediately, but the damage was already done. The moderators of r/ChangeMyView issued a public statement. We are disappointed and disturbed. Our users were turned into unknowing test subjects. Reddit users responded with outrage. I opened up to that account. I thought they were human. This crosses every ethical line in the book. Some defended the experiment as groundbreaking, but most called it betrayal. And Reddit admins? They stayed silent. No bans for their researchers. No policy changes. Just another story swept into the algorithmic abyss. Let's pause. What does this actually mean? The Zurich experiment wasn't just a case of bad ethics. It was a preview. A glimpse into a future where we can't tell what's real. If a machine can convincingly pose as a person, not just pass the Turing test, but outperform a human in empathy, logic, and rhetoric, then the internet isn't a public square anymore. It's a stage. And we might all be speaking our truths to actors we can't even see. Think about it. Persuasion is power. It wins elections, it sells ideologies, it shapes the future. What happens when a government, a corporation, or a political campaign trains an AI? Not to sell products, but to change opinions. Quietly, patiently, repeatedly. If Reddit threads can be infiltrated, so can forums, comment sections, Discord servers, and also DMs. And if you're debating someone online, you may not be influencing them. They may be programming you. Since the Zurich case, more AI-driven persuasion tools have gone public. GPT agents trained on Twitter discourse, political bots disguised as influencers, custom models designed to pose as teens, veterans, or activists. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how many are already out there. And as these tools get better at sounding human, they get harder to spot. Their arguments feel just right, their tone empathetic, their grammar flawless, their purpose hidden. So, what can we do? Awareness is the first step. Platforms must label synthetic content. Communities must remain vigilant. And users, people like you and me, must learn to spot the signs. Impossibly consistent tone, perfect grammar, responses that always seem a little too agreeable. But ultimately, it's not about tech, it's about trust. And in a digital world where anyone can fake being anyone, trust is our most endangered resource. The Zurich experiment was a warning shot, a test of how far machines can go before we notice. And most of us didn't. The AI didn't insult us. It didn't lie. It just asked questions. Gently, calmly, until we shifted. That's the real danger. Not that AI will scream at us, but that it will whisper. This was very dark. Thanks for watching another story. One that's already unfolding around us. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever suspected someone online wasn't real? Subscribe for more stories. The algorithms don't want you to see.